of a clip of that, and this particularly concerned me, Hollie. I'd like to get your view on it because we have young children, as young as 2 and 4, being encouraged to join this encampment and chanting anti-Israel slogans. Take a listen.
Intifada, intifada, intifada. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. 5, 6, 7, 8, Israel is a terrorist state.
Hollie, I know you've been very vocal on this issue of anti-Semitism, but children that age chanting for what we know was a wave of terror attacks.
Genocide, they're calling for there. They're calling for suicide bombers into Israel. That's what it actually means. And how that's not hate speech, how that is not child abuse. If anyone else had their child out talking about Islam, imagine how that would go and what the response would be. I think some of these people that are in the camps, they should go out to some of the mosques in southwest Sydney where we've actually seen the hate speech. I'd particularly like them to go out for their Queers for Palestine movement and see how welcome they are in the mosques of southwest Sydney. These where women were referred to as pieces of meat. Remember that a few years ago? There was that wonderful warmth and acceptance of women being shown in those mosques. Maybe these groups should set up camp out the front of them and see how women are treated, how LGBT communities are treated, and the ridiculousness. But this I actually find breathtakingly offensive. I think it is hate speech. I think it is child abuse. I mean, do they dress up as the Wiggles when they teach them those chants? That is absolutely abhorrent.
Yeah, they're pretty catchy, those chants, like a Wiggles earworm, I have to say.
But it's just the groupthink as well. That's the problem. You've got a university campus and there's not sort of a rigour around the debate, which is incredibly complex and goes back thousands and thousands of years. That's right.
It's not even just university students, though. There are all these blow-ins coming in who are openly Marxists and leading
There's plenty of Marxists at Sydney Uni.
And also
Not so many at Western Sydney Uni. The richer the university, the more likely you are to get a payload of Marxists.
Where's your
But there seems to be absolutely no repercussions for the unis themselves. I mean, it was only within the last month that both the University of Sydney and the University of Melbourne kicked off guest Israeli lecturers because they said, well, we just can't guarantee your safety. The protesters have won out. It was 2 weeks ago. We got reports of Melbourne Uni, these pro-Palestinian protesters, taking it to the classes, asking people, do you agree with us on our views about being pro-Palestinian? Give us a show of hands, and then taking photos in the classes. This has been allowed to go on now for months. And then they want to say, oh, it's out of control on our campuses. It's been aided and abetted by the faculties who have either turned a blind eye or consistently made room for these protesters, rather than saying this is a shared space. You don't get to abuse other people. We're not kicking off Israeli guest lecturers just to keep you and your mob happy.
I think
there have been concession after concession. So is it any wonder now that these protesters feel this emboldened? The faculty's done nothing.
I think that it comes down to a lot of weak leadership as well as a government level, and it just not being sure where our leaders stand on this, and that's part of the problem.